Are you planning a move to Dallas, but you're really worried about the summer heat? First of all, I don't blame you. I get asked the question all of the time. Well, what do you do in the summer months, especially when you have kids? So I'm gonna cover that in this week's video, so stick around. Hey everyone, my name is Danae Hewitt and I am your go-to DFW Realtor with Brico Realty Services. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you are back watching another one of my videos, I really appreciate your support. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I put out weekly content about real estate. Lately, I've been going around to different cities to show you tours of neighborhoods, of homes, and tell you about different cities. But in July, in summer of 2022, y'all, it is hot, hot, hot. It actually started back last month in June. So I haven't been going around to neighborhoods and cities because it is 100 degrees in the middle of the day. And I love y'all, but I don't love being out in the heat. So the last couple of videos, I have kept them indoors because I love air conditioning. So I thought it was actually gonna be a perfect idea to tell you about how my family and I handle the heat in the summertime. What are some things you absolutely have to have here in the summer? And what are some activities that you can do with your kiddos if you do have kiddos? Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about some things that you absolutely have to have in the summertime here in Texas. First of all, air conditioning. Yes, you have to have a solid air conditioning unit in your house. And if you're planning a move here and when you have your inspections done, you definitely want to make sure that that air conditioner is fully inspected so that you know you are walking into that house with a great unit. Also, you need air conditioning in your vehicle. So a reliable vehicle with a great air conditioning unit is going to be so important to you because if you're out running errands and you park your car in a parking lot, there are not a lot of trees in our parking lots. I mean, maybe you're lucky and you can find a parking spot under a tree with a little bit of shade. I mean, when that happens, you're like, thank you so much for this, this beautiful gift. But you want to make sure that you have a good air conditioning unit in your car so that after you're done running your errands, your car is like boiling hot. You want to make sure that you've got a great AC to get that car cooled down for you as soon as possible. If you're lucky enough to have remote start on your vehicle, I mean, that is just worth its weight in gold in the summertime here in Texas. Another thing that you definitely want to make sure that you have is protection from the sun. Sunscreen. I absolutely recommend that you not only put sunscreen on your face every single morning, but also on any parts of your arms or any of your legs that are going to be exposed when you are out and about. Along with that is a hat, or there actually is some really lightweight long sleeve clothing that has SPF in it that you might want to put on if you know that you're going to be outside for quite a bit of time, like maybe doing some yard work, but that can definitely help protect you from the sun. Something else that you might not think about that you'll absolutely need is an insulated water bottle. First of all, you should always be drinking water. Always, always, always. I mean, that's just like a health benefit I think we all know about. But you want to have that water cold, right? Boiling hot drinking water in your car is no fun to drink. So if you just have a regular bottle of water, you leave that in your car, you go into the grocery store, that thing is going to be hot and probably not fun to drink. So definitely make sure you've got an insulated water bottle. Fill that puppy up with ice so that when you do go run your errands, come back in your car, your water is going to stay cold. This next thing you're gonna want to try to have is access to a pool. And that doesn't mean a pool in your backyard necessarily, but it can also be a friend's pool that you can use. It could be your neighborhood community pool, something like that, because it is just so hot here. And a nice dip in the pool can go a long ways. So access to a pool is high up there on my list. What are some things that you can do during the day, can do with kiddos? Let me get into that. So I do have an 8-year-old son, and I used to be a teacher. So I had my summers available and we needed to go out and do things because I couldn't have my son home and cooped up all day long. What we would do is we had a membership to the Fort Worth Zoo, and we would go as soon as they opened up, because it's a little bit cooler in the mornings. And I mean like 85 to 90 is a little bit cooler. Of course, we would be outside, we would stay in the shade as much as possible, or we would go into like the monkey area because that was actually all enclosed. So we would do that first thing in the morning, and then we would come home and go about the rest of our day. So if you can try to do any of your outdoor activities, especially with kiddos, early in the morning, I definitely recommend doing that. If you're walking your dogs, it needs to be early in the morning or a little bit later in the evening, once things have cooled down, once the concrete has cooled down for those dogs especially. Other things that I would do is take my son to the splash pad. There are a ton of splash pads in the cities that we live in or even neighboring cities. So again, I would take him first thing in the morning, make sure he's got his sunscreen on, and let him play in that splash pad. So he was able to get some energy out. We were both able to get out during the day, and we were trying to do it when it wasn't so hot. Other activities to do are the museums. We have a ton of museums here in the Metroplex, and it doesn't matter what time you go because it's all indoors. So definitely schedule a museum visit when you can, and that'll get you out of the heat and into the air conditioning doing something. The movie theaters. Y'all can't beat the movie theaters, can you? But the thing that I don't like is that it's 100 degrees outside and I go into the movie theater and it's like 65 in there. So I have to bring a little jacket with me because I'm so cold in the movie theater. But such is life, right? It can't all be perfect. So definitely recommend going to a museum or a movie theater just to help get you outside and doing things, but not being in the heat. Another thing I recommend is a season pass to Hawaiian Falls. If you've got kiddos, it is just a great way to spend your summer day. Here in the Metroplex, we've got 4 locations, and there is another one down in Waco, which is about, depending on where you are in the Metroplex, hour and a half-ish or so away. Again, we like to get there first thing when they open up, right at 10 a.m. and stay for a couple of hours. I usually don't like getting to the water park at like 2 or 3 just because that's just when it's just really, really hot. And you definitely have to make sure that you are reapplying sunscreen, wearing your water shoes, because that concrete is just miserable to walk on. So I definitely recommend a Hawaiian Falls membership. We get one absolutely every single year. There are a couple of cities that do have aquatic centers that you have to be a member of. I believe if you live in the city, the membership is a little less expensive because you're paying taxes for that city. But to have an outside membership or an outside day pass, it is a little bit more expensive, but a lot of times they have a pool and maybe a small water park, a couple of slides here or there. But again, it's just another way to be inside, get your kids into some water and get some energy out. We also have Epic Waters water park that is an indoor water park in Grand Prairie that I have not been to actually because we go to Hawaiian Falls pretty frequently, but I've got a lot of friends that have gone and they absolutely love it. So that's definitely an option for you too. The weather here in the summertime, it's just hot. I mean, there really just is no way around it. So definitely make sure that you are indoors as much as possible, or when you're outdoors, you're trying to get to those activities first thing in the morning, unless you're gonna be in some water. If you're planning a move to the DFW area and you don't have a real estate agent with eyes on the ground to help you do that, I would love to be that real estate agent for you. My contact information is in the description below, and I would check out that video right there. It's a great one. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.